Everybody, welcome back to this week's issue of Toronto Health and Performance Newsletter. Today I want to talk about a mobility drill that I picked up from a couple colleagues of mine, Dr. Rusin and Dr. Spencer. It's a great drill, in particular for skating athletes, but also athletes in general and anybody who spends a lot of time sitting down as well. So it's great for the general population too. So the drill focuses on the thoracic spine and the hip, mobilizing those areas, and we'll start with the hip. So this drill looks to work and mobilize the inner portion of the hip, so the inner thigh, otherwise known as the adductor area or the groin area. This area is vigorously used in sport and performance, and like I said before, people who spend a lot of time sitting down, it's also used a lot. So the reason for that is because the muscles on the inner thigh or the groin don't only act to bring the leg towards the hip or close to the body, but they also assist in flexion and extension of the hip. So we spoke about a minute ago why it's great for skating athletes. Take, for example, hockey guys who are on skates and they've got their knees and their hips essentially rotated internally all the time. Plus, they're also vigorously flexing the hip and extending the hip as they're skating back and forth. And people who spend lots of time sitting down, by itself, your legs are close together and the area is shortened because you're sitting in your inflection. So these muscles tend to get used a lot. It's hard to keep up with the amount of tension that they get in terms of recovery. Add to that, they do not get a lot of blood flow in the first place. So all those factors coming together for athletes in the general population, it's easy for things to go south pretty quickly and for us to be predisposed towards injury. So this drill is great for targeting that. And it's also an awesome bang for your buck drill because you can get two birds with one stone, and that you also get some T-spine mobility with this drill. And T-spine stuff, for athletes, super important. If you don't have good rotation in your upper back, your thoracic spine, you're going to get it from somewhere else. Typically, it's going to be the low back or it's going to be the shoulder. So you got overhead athletes who don't have good rotation in the upper back. They're going to be wearing down that rotator cuff group over and over again as they're trying to get extra mobility out of their shoulder. They're not getting from their back. So very important for them. Super important for people who sit all day as well in that hunched out posture. Those muscles in the T-spine, the upper back, tend to get sort of locked in place, and we want to mobilize that area for those people as well so they can have a healthier shoulder and lower back region too. So the drill has you on all fours, and what you're going to do is you're going to extend one leg out, and that will keep tension on the proximal or the area of the groin that's closest to the body, close to the hip, where we tend to get a lot of that adduction, flexion, extension action happening for athletes and other people all the time. We use work in this area. So you got that, leg out to about 90 degrees, hand down underneath the shoulder, and one arm behind the head. And when we work on the T-spine and we're trying to get T-spine rotation or range of motion in the upper back, we always want to think that what we're doing with T-spine is we're pushing on one side and pulling with the other, right? It's that sort of push-pull dynamic that gets the range of motion in the T-spine. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna drive our hand into the floor, kind of protract our scapula and push the floor away with the hand on the ground as we rotate up with the other hand. Pushing, pulling up. And for those who want a greater range of motion and want a little bit more tension on that adductor group, what you can do is you can get down on your forearm, and now you take your arm along through the opposite arm that's on the ground. Same idea, you're protracting the scapula, you're pushing that forearm into the floor as you're rotating and pulling away with the other arm. Pushing, rotating. Pushing, rotating. Great drill for athletes, like I said, especially the guys who skate. Great for health in the groin region as well as the T-spine, for anybody really, but in particular, once again, for skating athletes, hockey players, that sort of stuff. One final note, piece of advice, make sure that you're breathing. Breathing is very, very important, especially when it comes to T-spine mobility. You want to exhale forcefully as you rotate up. That will help to depress the rib cage and give you some more space to rotate. Thanks.